Dolly Parton opens up about coping with the loss of husband. Dolly Parton is finding strength after the heartbreaking loss of her beloved husband, Carl Dean. The country music icon, who announced Carl's passing on March 3rd recently, shared how she's navigating life without her partner of 6 decades. "I'm doing better than I thought I would," Dolly revealed in a March 17th interview with Knox News. Reflecting on their 60 years together, she admitted that adjusting to life without him will take time. "I've been with him for so long. Now I have to relearn certain things we've always done together, but I'll always keep him close." Dolly made her first public appearance since Carl's passing on March 14th, stepping out for the 40th anniversary celebration of her Dollywood theme park. Though she is grieving, the legendary singer is embracing cherished memories and holding on to Carl's love as she moves forward. The country music icon also noted that, because her longtime love had suffered a great deal, she was content, adding, "I'm at peace that he's at peace, but that don't keep me from missing him and loving him." Indeed, Dolly, who released a heartbreaking song dedicated to Carl called "If You Hadn't Been There" days after his March 3rd passing, noted she's forever changed, but will focus on the positive. "It's a hole in my heart," she continued, "but we'll fill that up with good stuff, and he'll still always be with me." In addition to detailing her grief, the "I Will Always Love You" singer reflected on one of Carl's favorite pastimes. "Being a tourist at Dollywood, he used to come to the park," she explained. "He bought his own ticket, stood in line and got his ticket. He didn't want somebody giving him a ticket because he was Dolly's husband. Everybody thinks that's the funniest thing." She added of Carl, who notoriously avoided a life in the public eye. "He'd just think, well, I think I'll go to Dollywood, check things out." Beyond enjoying the park's funnel cakes and attractions, he would take the opportunity to give his wife some helpful feedback. He would say, "You need more bathrooms," Dolly said through laughter. Or he would say, "You need to tell them this or that. It's crowded over in that area. You might want to tell them they ought to do this or that." Despite the suggestions, Dolly knows Carl wasn't coming to criticize, noting with love. He would notice things and he would say, "You might want to bring this to their attention." For more insight into Dolly and Carl's 6-decade love story, keep reading New Girl in Town. Dolly Parton left 2 boyfriends behind in her hometown of Sevierville 10. So getting into a new relationship was the last thing on her mind when she moved to Nashville in 1964, right after graduating from high school. Alas, she met Carl Dean while walking down the street on her way to the laundromat the day she arrived in Music City. As remembered by Parton, Dean, who died March 3rd, 2025 at the age of 82, never spoke to the press. He was driving by in a white Chevrolet when he called out, "You're gonna get sunburnt out here, little lady." They got to talking, and I fell. And for him, and he fell for me, she wrote in her 2020 book, Dolly Parton Songteller, My Life in Lyrics. In another interview, the 5-foot artist, who was 18 when they met, recalled how tan Dean was as he towered over her at 6'2". The 22-year-old had an asphalt paving business with his father, so was bronzed from working outside. She did not, however, hop right into his car. "You gotta know somebody, or they may take you on a back road and kill you," she pointed out, per Stephen Miller's 2011 biography, Smart Blonde. Parton did invite Dean to visit her at her aunt and uncle's house the next day, which he did, though she would only sit with him outside. He came back every day for a week, and when he took her out for their first date, he drove her to his parents' house first, because Parton said, "He said he knew right from the minute he saw me that that's the one he wanted." Artist of many talents, but as she started to make a name for herself as a songwriter, collaborating frequently with her uncle Bill Owens, her boss at Combine Music, Fred Foster, warned it would be a bad idea for her to get married, as she was on the verge of getting her big break as a singer. Instead, she and Dean who'd been planning a big wedding, didn't put off getting married another day, eloping to Ringgold, Jr. and tying the knot May 30th, 1966, with only mother of the bride Avie Lee Parton by their side, and serving as their wedding photographer. They kept it so quiet, Foster didn't even know they were husband and wife for a year, until one day the label exec, pointing to Parton's growing success, cracked, "Now aren't you glad you didn't get married?" The Jolene singer has explained that while her passport says Dolly Parton Dean, she didn't change her name professionally because she already had a record deal with her maiden name. "Anyway, if I had chosen the name Dolly Dean," she cracked to The Guardian in 2014, "I'd have been Double D. Again." Parton did bring her spouse to one big event, the BMI Awards banquet in 1966, where she and Owens were being honored in the country category for writing "Put It Off Until Tomorrow." Afterward, Dean started pulling off his tuxedo before they'd even reached the car. He said, "I'm happy for you," Parton wrote in her book. "I want you to do what you want to do. But don't ever ask me to go to another one of them damn things, because I ain't going, and he never has." That was the first of 48 BMI awards she has received, to go with the 10 Grammys, not including a Lifetime Achievement Award in 2011. 9 Country Music Association Awards, 13 Academy of Country Music Awards, and a host of other accolades. But the real prize was always waiting for Parton at home, making it work. "I always joke and laugh when people ask me what's the key to my long marriage and lasting love," the 9-to-5 star told People in 2018. "I always say, stay gone, and there's a lot of truth to that. I travel a lot, but we really enjoy each other when we're together and the little things we do." One of their earliest dinner dates was at the McDonald's drive-through window in Dean's Chevy, Parton recalled, and their tastes as a couple never got a whole lot fancier, though Forbes put Parton's estimated net worth at $440 million in 2023. They continued to patronize local restaurants and go on road trips, Ringgold, where they said "I do" being one of their regular destinations. "I love to read. I love to cook. I love hanging out with my husband, riding around in our little RV," Parton told Billboard in 2014. "Even when I get off the road after traveling thousands of miles, I'll say, 'Get the camper, let's go somewhere.' He'll say, 'Are you kidding? Ain't you tired of riding?' 'No, I'm a gypsy. I want to do that.' My life is fairly simple when I'm out of the limelight. Though if you wanted to catch her and Dean at Publix or Walmart, you had to stay up late. We'd go in the middle of the night to those places that are open 24 hours a day," Parton told reporters in 2019 while celebrating the premiere of her Netflix series Dolly Parton's Heartstrings. "You'd be surprised at how lucky I'd get with that. You see a few people and I don't mind. I love people, I just don't want to slow up my shopping." Carl Dean's 15 minutes. While the lack of photos of the pair out in public may have frustrated Parton watchers over the years, that has led a lot of people to believe that my husband doesn't exist and that I made him up, she wrote in her 2020 book. The singer has shared a few throwback snapshots with the world, and she cheekily included her man on the cover of her 1969 album My Blue Ridge Mountain Boy, a composite image showing Parton daydreaming away about her rugged fellow in the lumberjack shirt. But Parton respected Dean's aversion to the spotlight, so she kept him out of it as much as possible. "He's like a quiet, reserved person," she told ET in 2020, and he figured if he ever got out there in that, he'd never get a minute's peace. And he's right about that. "I will always love you." When they renewed their vows at home on their 50th anniversary, Parton finally got to wear the dazzling wedding dress of her dreams. She also penned a song to go with their vows, Forever Love, one of several tracks inspired by her and Dean's forever love affair on her 2016 album Pure and Simple. "He got all dressed up in the most beautiful gown you've ever seen and dressed that husband of mine up," she told Rolling Stone of their second big day. "He looked like a handsome dude out of Hollywood. We had a few family and friends around. We didn't plan anything big at all because we didn't want any kind of strain, any kind of tension, any kind of commotion. So we planned it cleverly and carefully. We just had a simple little ceremony at our chapel, at our place. We just had fun with it. Along with the usual questions about her secrets to marital success, Parton also fielded her share of inquiries about her and Dean's status as a family of two. "I used to think I should regret it," Parton told Billboard, "about not having children. Early on, when my husband and I were dating, and then when we got married, we just assumed we would have kids. We weren't doing anything to stop it. In fact, we thought maybe we would. We even had names if we did, but it didn't turn out that way. Now I say, God didn't mean for me to have kids so everybody's kids could be mine." She shared with The Guardian that if they'd ever had a little girl, they would have named her Carla, and she and Dean thought a lot about what their kids might have been like. "I would have been a great mother, I think," Parton said. "I would probably have given up everything else, because I would have felt guilty about that if I'd have left them to work. Everything would have changed. I probably wouldn't have been a star, but as the fourth of 12 siblings, she has had plenty of people in her life to dote on. I'm very close to my family. 5 of my younger brothers and sisters lived with me and Carl for many years. And we're very close to our nieces and nephews," she told Billboard. "Now that Carl and I are older, we often say, 'Aren't you glad we didn't have kids? Now we don't have kids to worry about.' Which also left more time to focus on each other." Happily ever after, Dolly Parton shares cherished memories of late husband Carl Dean. Dolly Parton has always treasured the small, meaningful moments she shared with her late husband, Carl Dean. In a 2020 interview with People, she reminisced about the sweet traditions that made their love special. "We still have our little times, like in the springtime when the first yellow daffodils bloom," she shared. "Even if there's still snow on the ground, Carl would always bring me a bouquet. He'd usually write me a little poem too, which, to me, is priceless. That's like a date in itself." Their love was never about glamour or grand gestures, just being together was enough. Whether it was a candlelit dinner at home or a simple night away at a day's inn, Parton said they found joy in the little things. While Carl never accompanied Dolly to Grammys or Oscars, he always saw her in her signature glamorous style. Despite her love for dressing up, even at home, Carl's love for her remained unconditional. "He knows I'm always going to be fixed up for him because I don't believe in going home and being a slouch," Dolly said. "But honestly, he doesn't care what I wear, as long as I'm happy. He loves me just the way I am."